Everybody in the entertainment industry or in entertainment has an alter ego. That's the cat that will do everything that, you won't do. But D. Brad and David Brad were too much alike. So there was certain lines I wouldn't cross regardless. But I didn't work for MTV or VH when I interned, which is very important because this is in, probably 1997, and this was before radio and television both did the same thing. And they showed me how they used to watch, MTV back then would watch BET to see what rap videos to play. Because I didn't even watch BET back then when I was in college. I went to King University.
Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm from Willingboro. I'm a Jersey guy.
Okay.
So yeah, South Jersey.
Pennypacker.
Pennypacker?
My sister lived there.
Pennypacker Drive. How about that? I went to Penny. I still work at Penny. I work over at Pennypacker School. But yeah, I always say Willingboro, New Jersey is like 2 degrees of separation from like anybody, from the president to whatever. But so anyway, long story short, they would watch every day. They would watch Rap City. This is back when I used to dish Rap City because I hated Joe Clay at the time and I hated everything about Rap City. So one day I got the courage to ask them because like every day at 4 o'clock, literally all the white producers on the 16th floor on 1515 Broadway would sit and watch Rap City. So I would ask one day why, and one day they said, well, this is how we tell what rappers to put on our show, our station, because if they are doing well, then we know that in the black community that people are watching them. So I kind of kept that in mind for no particular reason because I had no clue that I would end up at BET like 7 months later. Long story short, I talked my way into BET, and I worked on a show called Buy the Book, which was the first show that introduced. It's funny, everything that I've worked on at BET and after the fact was like, it turned out disgusting. But we were the first one to introduce like black romance novels. And then it went on to what we saw. It was a show called Buy the Book. Then I talked my way into Rap City from there. I didn't have a job. Like I went to DC with $200 in a dream. I got hired on the phone and they said, well, we need you when you come. So I was like, well, I can come, next week. I just graduated. She was like, no, it's Tuesday. She was like, we need you here tomorrow. So I had my little $200. I stayed in the Super 8 motel and then found out my cousin went to Howard about a month later, so I thought I was cool. And then my job for Buy the Book was only 6 months. And we went there and I think we introduced Iyanla Vanzant to the mainstream before she got on Oprah. A lot of these best-selling authors from Terry McMillan, for the rest of them, we were the first show to actually put them out there. And then that show was over and I tried to get on Rap City. And one day I decided to cold call the producer and I found out who was doing it and I called him up and I talked his head off and he just kind of brushed me off and said, yeah, all right kid, yeah, just if you ever get here, give me a call. And lo and behold, a week later I was there. And he would never hire me. And then one day they had a rap battle. Like BET in DC was real ghetto. Like at any given, everybody knew Bob Johnson was Bone and Deborah. Like that was an open secret. Like we all knew that. Everybody knew that. Like that was like the talk. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, my business partner, we did an interview, and he can verify because we interviewed the boxing commissioner, Larry Hazard. He used to roll with Bob Johnson. It wasn't me saying that how niggerish they all acted. So that's how I was in BET. It was just really in the hood. I used to call my homeboy yo, it's like going to a club every day because the women, it was just crazy. Yeah. So I didn't want to come back to New Jersey, needless to say. And then for me, being a red-blooded mellow, so many gay men in DC that I would walk out my house, my apartment, and come back in with 5 numbers. So I was like, this is heaven. I'm like, brothers, be gay, do your thing. Let's talk what I got to do. It was a beautiful thing. It was beautiful. Never in my life did I not have to talk to women. What? So, it was, I had a ball. I had a ball with that shit. But I was also young, so understand this where I'm coming from. I was also young. So then, long story short, I got a rap battle. I started rapping on stage because I had nothing to lose. And then, lo and behold, the producer gets on stage. He starts rapping real 70s, old school, and I'm just looking at this dude are you serious? And everybody knew him, and he was a cerebral guy. He didn't involve himself in things of that nature. So everybody was cheering for him. And here I am, the guy no one knows, and I'm like, this old dude is playing me out. So I threw caution to the wind, so I just started rhyming, and I just ripped him apart from head to toe. And by the time it was over, everybody was like, yo, that was dope. Too bad you didn't get a job. But lo and behold, he hired me, and years later he said that's why. He said if he was going to go to war, he wanted a soldier like me. He needed someone that would throw caution to the wind. And that's what I did. He said, because the fact that you had no job, you had the audacity to sit on stage and say the things you said about me, he said, I appreciated that. And so that was my introduction to World Rap City. And as a production assistant, I was brought a young rapper named Eve, and nobody knew what to do with it, but being from South Jersey, hanging out in Philly, I was like, well, she's a Philly girl, I know what to do, I know she's blah, 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 blah. So that was my first artist that they let me have on my own, and me and Eve worked together, and thus you have what you have now. It was all based on image, it was all based on the fact that I understood the science of MTV was watching. So at the time, I was like, you know, I was the type of dude that you let me in. I was like, yo, these fools gave me the key to BET. So I'm calling everybody I know from Philly. So yes, BET, but I'm grabbing them up from Philly, like, yo, we'll put you on Freeway. So there was a couple years when Philly artists were really doing very well. And that's because I was from that area, so I was pulling everybody up. And yeah, say that again?
Beanie Seeds.
Yeah, I put them on television the first time, and on and on and on. And I was fortunate enough, I created Spring Bling when I was there. I didn't know it was going to stay what it was, and I was telling people, you got to understand, when I created the show, I was 20-something years old, and Uncle Luke's a mansion from the Two Live Crew with Big Tigger, DMX, and some weed. And that is how that concept for Spring Bling came up. Yo, the white boys got that joint on TV, we need a show too. Yo, we call it Spring, and then Uncle Luke said, Bling, and this is back in '98, and DMX said, yo, son, that's it. And we said, that's it right there. You know, and I was a young guy. I was young, I was chasing women. I just didn't know that it was going to continually to be that way. Because I would try to improve it, and they would be like, get out of here, D-Brad, I'm sorry. You know, because it was making the advertisers, it was making the money. So that is when I went from a worker, a spoken will for the company, that comes in 8 hours a day, they have to pay him for lunch break, they have to pay his salary to an asset. Because now millions are coming into BET. Millions of dollars. They're looking at these crazy black kids. And then it was all cool for me to be on the show until about the second year when I started going like, all right, man, this ain't really cool. Like, I understood, but we need more. And then that's when the friction with me and BET would start. Because I became known as the black guy. The guy in production meetings that we'd have. And I would say, well, you know, it's not, I love women too, but we need some balance. It shouldn't take a Michael Jordan sneaker commercial for Most Def's Umi Says to be a video to get played. That's crazy to me, you know. And everything I did, I felt I did with balance. You know, I felt that I was giving brothers an opportunity. So yeah, and sisters too. Yeah, my man Trick Daddy from Florida. Yeah, when you saw him playing a lot, that was me. And yeah, Trina too. And I introduced Trina. I put her on television first because I thought she had a really big black on TV. It was just that simple. Oh, whoa, who's that? As a new rap chick. Dang, yo, get the camera. And that's how it was, and that's how easy it was. So I'm learning all of this and going, wow, like, you know, I'm putting subliminal messages in all of Eve's projects. I'm shouting at my homeboys at home, spelling out pit pat throughout the whole Rap City show. You know, playing little jokes. You know, I have on my reel where I would play with images with Eve, subliminal messages. You know, put Eve as hot underneath a flash frame, and you slow down, you see a black background with red Eve, red B, red E, red I. Red S, Eve is hot, but the regular viewers not seeing us. And I tell people to prove my point, name me an album or song that Eve has had that's been a hit, but she's still famous. People still go to see it. It's based on image because I knew that MTV would take her. I knew that MTV would take Trina. I knew that MTV would take whichever artist that I was pushing a lot. So I was behind a lot of that during that era from like 98, 99, 2002. But that was also when there was new energies. So I was actually doing their job for them. Because although I was giving, in my world, really, I'm not gonna want to go there. You're so good. In my world, really, you really good. In my world, it was like, I was just giving brothers and sisters a chance. It was dope and it was cool, like everybody could eat. But underneath, they were using the energy and the vibration. I was there when the president brought in this band B2K and started to make, you know, the males really feminine, because that's how he is. So I watched it go down. I had a best friend that I brought in the game who decided that, and I don't care that he decided that he wanted to have an alternative lifestyle. I care less about that. But this is what happens in this industry. They play with colors. That's everything that Black Guy speaks about. Dealing with shock and colors and the vibration, they play with it. There's a science behind it. It was prophesied, the new religion within this age of hip-hop music. You know, so nobody sold more than hip-hop. And the powers that be know that, but you have you have like all of the regular people like ourselves, and we'll look at, I don't even know who's out, Chief Keef, right?
Young Thug.
Young Thug, and we'll go in on him. Yo, this, that, and the other. But it's kind of like I say, like, I'm a huge WWE wrestling fan, and I tell a lot of the people that we've been arguing online, like, yo, y'all know, like, it's scripted. Like, one minute, if we want to be smart and say, well, it's scripted, we know it's not real. But then on the other hand, you get lost in the character. That don't, you know what I'm saying? I know that John Cena is not real, but then also I start talking about what he need to do in the ring. Well, if it's scripted, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it is with rappers. It's like, come on, like, on one hand, everybody's so, like, intelligent and conscious. But then on the other hand, we go, oh man, Young Thug, man, he coming out with, you know Young Thug is coming out with that music. You know that they went and got some weak-minded little kid that just wanted to live the American dream, and they put him in a bubble. But, I know, if you go look at demand, that means you're responsible. Now, so that means you might have to put your favorite rap album down. You might not be able to like your favorite rapper no more. See, it's real easy to blast Young Thug, because then I can still love DMX. You see what I'm saying? But if I look at the reality, and those who run the record labels, there's a system behind it. We all have an American dream. So I can sit here for the next 10 minutes and tell you about who's gay, who did what, but that is not what I'm here for, because I understand that I was there. A lot of the people, with all due respect, that will tell you all of this, a lot of them were former artists that would have had to come to me and say, hey man, we want to do this shit. I never answered to a rapper a day in my life, whether it was Jay-Z, whether it was Diddy, it wasn't going to happen. You came to me. So I was the guy behind the scenes. Wasn't no rapper ever tell me what they was going to do. Just like Lil Wayne, I said, well, I guess when I have this show. And that's what it was. Because I'm not putting your artist on. So no rapper ever walked on that set, told anybody from Rap City what to do. So I'm speaking from the dude behind the curtain standing next to eyes. And the reality of what it all is that there is a machine. They do take advantage. We all want to live an American dream. I know what it's like just to blow $400-500 a day. Like it's nothing legal. And be hanging with cats and spending more than me. I know what it's like to be around my homegirl who's on the radio and I'm watching her throw $500 a night on weed, and I'm watching just like it's all love, sitting next to that Christina Aguilera and we chilling. And I don't even know it's her. I know what it's like to stand next to Dave and watching her, hey man, you know, so. I know what it's like to stand there and Jay-Z come up like, yo son, you dope with what you do. But I'm so into what I'm doing, like, yeah, all right. He's seen it. I've sat right next to him, he's seen some high power person call me. She's seen it, her godmother is on TV so much that it's regular to her. That world to my daughter is regular. So this is the perspective I speak of, and this is what they take advantage of. You have a dream, you want to live it. I tell people all the time, I was fortunate because I had a father in the house, and he taught me to the best of his abilities how to have standing, what to be a man was. But I can tell you, making what I made, living that life, if I didn't have a father in the house, and I just watched my mama work 3 jobs, I can't promise you that I'd be sitting here. But I can promise you that I'd probably be sitting in that big behind office in my condo with a couple of young ladies around me, like I used to do, with the best weed you want to have, and some money in my pocket, and going to a matter of fact, it was a Friday night. I'm just walking up in the club at this point in time. That's the life I lived. But because I had a father who gave me standard, when I'm in the limo with that president of that billion-dollar company, and he's sitting with his legs cocked open, looking at me like, you know what you got to do, because that's the next step for you. Everybody knew I was coming. I used to date Kerry Washington's best friend. I was sitting right there. It was my girlfriend, Kerry Washington, where she did her first movie. I can name all these other actors and directors I was around. They knew like, yo, that's that kid right there. He's on his way. And everybody BET knew. So guess what? Now you got to cross that threshold. But there were a lot of doors that were open for me that I didn't understand, because everyone in there, they come from a bloodline. I didn't know at the time. I heard things, but I never paid attention. But my cousin was like Hollywood royalty. His name is Michael G. Moore. He was a co-creator of Married with Children. He wrote every black sitcom there was, Different Strokes, Silver Spoons, Sanford and Son, That's My Mama. I didn't know that. And I always used to wonder why doors would open up. I would see people hustling so hard to get in, and I would walk in and show my face, and they'd be like, come on in. But it was also something that they wanted, because see, my cousin also did Hollywood too. He rolled out. It was unheard from for years. So everybody has a lineage. Jay-Z has a lineage. Everyone who makes it has a lineage from something or somewhere. But they take advantage of that because you have your bloodline, you have your family you have to live up to. Then a lot of the other people are just peripheral on the line. So Young Thug is just a young kid who probably was a follower. If you really went back and saw most of these dudes' friends, with the exception of Philly rappers, most of them, they really said they shot killed somebody, chance that they really did, because something about the city of Philadelphia. But, you know, but mostly.
So,
I love Philly, I'm a Philly cat, but you know, so that's really what it is. They take advantage of all of that. So now you're sitting in a limo, like I was coming. Yo, Rick, really? You my business partner over here. I got to talk over you. So you're sitting in a low, so you're sitting, and this is how it goes down. You're looking at a dude that went through that Illuminati stuff. You're sitting you hang out 3 times. The 3rd time I'm in there with the president of that station, that $1 billion station. You're sitting in the white limo, everything's all white. He takes you to the clubs, you go to the clubs, he brings you to the after parties. You at a long table, long white out tables. You look over, oh, there's Derek Jeter and his girlfriend. Oh, there's there's an NBA player, there's an actor there. You go there, next thing you know, you sit in the limo with this dude, he's looking at you saying, what's up? Now it's your time to go to cross that burning bridge. Me not even knowing, I don't even know how to get in that situation, let alone get out of it. I'm just looking out the window, but knowing that my career's over. So you're watching a dude as he puts his foot on your financial freedom, or what you perceive as financial freedom. So we can all sit here right now and say, oh man, I wouldn't, really? Especially when you know that 9.9 times out of 10, the person sitting right next to you in the same position did the same exact thing. When they brought you to the party, you saw your favorite producer, writer, whoever, and you're like, wow, they're having fun at this party. We got a little skinny girl here on his lap, haha. It's not a girl. Wow. Then you go to another room and your favorite actress, you see her doing favors, and you're like, wow, I used to really think she was, so who's really gonna say no to that? And come back to this life that I've had to live? I have a child, I gotta do my thing, I gotta hustle, I'm trying to, when I was in the game, having a production company was easy. And when people, and all the people that would talk about what these rappers and these people need to do, they're not there for you when you go through what I go through. I had my daughter, I know the people that I had by my science community. That was one of them. And I can count on one hand. There's another brother right there. But I was alone. All the people that talked all that, where was they at? But you know who was calling me? The same people that they told me to turn around. It was entertainers. I still to this day owe Nikki D $200. Because she just put money in my pocket like, yo, D. You understand? So I've slept on actors' floors and sofas before people in the conscious community open their doors up to me. So all I'm saying is, before we judge these people, let's look at the situation at hand. Because you're looking at a dude who did it. And because you forget about, it's easy to say what they should do, but you forget about real life. Like, I still have a daughter. And so then your family falls apart. You just do a regular life. And it's regular life that happens that they forget to tell you about. When everyone talks about what Jay-Z should do. So Jay-Z should take everything he worked for and toss to the side. But guess what? His mom is taken care of. His cousins are taken care of. Can you really ask a man to trade his child's comfort so that y'all could have some truth? And then go right back on and turn the TV back on anyway. Turn the radio back on. I ain't listen to Cheap Keef. But I'm listening, I don't give a damn about you, girl. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So that's the reality of that industry, and it's really up to us. Like, they're not making anybody watch anything. That's why I don't make my daughter turn on the television. What I tend to do is, like, she knows I love wrestling and basketball, so I'll let her see Dad get up and turn the game off and put the remote down and go do something else. Because I don't, you know, and that's the reason why I got in the school system. I've got to involve myself in the school system, so when Dad says something, she can't just brush me off like that's your dad, because she's seen Dad teaching children too, right? See? And she's seen me teach as well. So that was my thing. So I got out and started lecturing and started telling people. And I did what I needed to do, and I met a lot of good brothers and a lot of good sisters. So, and I had this little beautiful girl. So it was all worth it. But everybody's not built like that. Wendy Williams even told me that when I did her radio show. She knew people that he didn't say. She said, everybody's not built like you. And it took a lot, but I had a loving foundation where I had real good friends, the friends I did have that were there. So that is my story in a nutshell. I know I'm rushing because I know I got a little one home at some point because she's gonna start. Thank you, Mom.